All right, everybody, Eric with EKG Lawn. Just hanging out in the shade here. We are done. It was hot, but not as bad as expected. Got a nice little breeze going. Here we are. Got a crepe myrtle on the end. We had to shift it around a little bit. We had one root issue, stump issue in this little area. Other than that, it was actually pretty easy digging because, like I said, these pine trees are more of a tap root. So we had to worry about, roots all scattered throughout within, but we got pretty lucky today. We got some Nellie Stevens right here, alternating with a Green Giant Arborvitae. The top looks kind of a little bent. It'll grow back in. That's just the way it is. And now the Nellie Green Giant, our bloom struck endless hydrangeas right here in the front. Had a little bit of color, little flavor. Our skip laurels in the back. These were 10 gallons, bigger than what we usually install. Thing with skip laurels is they do love shade and they don't like really wet leaves. If you see this right here, see these holes in here? That's probably from a nursery when they were being grown and kept, because a nursery has to kind of have overhead watering. It's too much stuff to keep up with, but the overhead watering, they get what's called a shot hole disease. So if you're planting these in beds that have irrigation, be mindful of that. Skip laurel, auto lichen laurel, and I believe maybe even the cherry laurel. Don't quote me on that. That might be more disease or shot hole resistant. But laurels, you want to plant in areas where they're not going to be getting hosed off with the sprinkler system all the time, because you'll get this shot hole disease. Now this isn't very bad. This is a couple leaves, but it can overtake a whole plant. So be mindful of that when planting those laurels, autos, and skip laurels. And then also this Green Giant, this is well over 10 foot if I stand up next to it. Some people think the leader looks kind of funny when you see the top growing. They want to cut that. Don't do that. That's the leader. That tree is going to continue to grow, and if you cut that, you're going to lose a lot of growth, because as that leader goes up, more branches start to form off of that leader, making the tree grow up more, upwards more. So if it's an eyesore to you, you might just not have to look at it for a little while, because that's going to harm the tree a little bit. If you do that, you're going to lose your size. And we want these things to get big to really screen in the windows of the neighbor, considering everything's planted so doggone close these days. Or not planted, built. Sorry, it's hot out here. Built so close together. But that's it. It's a fairly immediate screen, because they're big material going in. These were 65-gallon Green Giants. Those will run you every bit of $450 at a nursery. The Nellie Stevens were around, I believe, $250, $275. They're ball and burlap. But those are a magnificent pot size, 65-gallon. And you got your crepe myrtle down here on the end. It's going to add some flavor, some flowers in the summertime as well. And that's going to grow up more and more. It kind of blocks off that other house over there for now. So, and as you see, the new fresh pine needles just really makes it pop. It'll also help hold in that moisture. These are all pretty acid-loving plants, and pine needles are very acidic. So, and under pine trees, obviously, are acidic. Now, pine needles, pine tags, whatever you want to call them, comment below. How do y'all call them in your state? We call them pine needles, pine tags, and pine straw. So, depending on where you're from, might be called something different. We're here in Chesterfield, Virginia, 30 minutes south of Richmond, Virginia. We'd love to take on your work. If you got anything for us, give us a call. It's Eric with EKG Lawn. Best way, though, to get to us is on our website, ekglawn.com. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to have more and more stuff coming. The bigger we grow, the more I'm out of the field, I'm not out here with the guys, the more production we'll put into these videos, more than likely. But for now, this is about all you're going to see. And the pine needles, look at this, it really makes it pop. I did wet down all the pine needles, kind of got a little breeze going today, just kind of let them set in a little bit. And I also wetted them. I watered everything and then re-watered once the pine needles were down, so that the moisture will hold in with all these plants a little bit more. And they're going to need water. You can plant in the summertime with the proper homework. They are going to be watering every other day or so, keeping an eye on it, kind of using their judgment and really giving it a good soak. In the summertime, the crepe myrtles love being planted this time of year, but when you water too, you want to make sure you really get in here, use some big root balls, really get the hose in the middle of there and really soak that root ball in good, because it's for all the transplant shock that's going through. It's also a pretty good idea to water kind of around the tree. It promotes the roots to grow out and stretch out further in search of water and food. So when you're just watering just the trunk all the time, it might be better to go ahead and just, you know, water a little bit outside of the tree or plant that you're watering as well, to really get them roots to stretch out. But again, you got anything for us, give us a call. Eric with EKG Lawn, ekglawn.com. As always, we put our heart into your lawn. Thank you. Have a good day.